this core build actually gives very thorough architecture overview of what VOLTHA is about and within the framework of the R core. So I think this session, if you go after you go back and encourage your team to review the videos when it's become available. So to close this R core, I think this is our core track, right? So right now we're in the community. We're in the plan about planning the VOLTHA 2.0. There is a 1.3. We sneak it. We put it in also. There's some feature in there. I think it's important for the deployment. So 1.3. There's a VOLTHA high availability so far. Right now, as the Sergio explained yesterday, is using the swarm, the Docker swarm to support the high availability for VOLTHA. During the testing and development, we found a lot of some of the issues related to the Docker swarm. So the Kubernetes seems to be a good candidate to replace that. AT&T, we in our AIC, the Docker management, the de facto should I say method is the Kubernetes using the Docker Kubernetes. So we're hoping to have that implemented in the VOLTHA 1.3. The feasibility is still in research currently, so hopefully the timeline will be able to work. The other one, the console has some issues regarding to the redundancy, so that's also one of the issues we would like to invest. AT&T we have an OpenOMCI spec published back into the second quarter of this year. If you're interested, the spec actually is in the wiki page of the VOLTHA project. So AT&T would like to have the opportunity to see this OpenOMCI spec being implemented before the 2.0 release. So that's another feature we put in for the VOLTHA 1.3. Any question? The VOLTHA 2.0, we are trying also, AT&T is trying to contact other service provider, such as Deutsche Telekom and the Telefonica, to prioritize this list. It's a very feature rich list here. So what is this this explained here doesn't have the priority set up yet. So it's a kitchen sink list which has the high important features for not only AT&T and other service providers. We think it will be required in order to deploy the VOLTHA in certain time frame in 2018. But right now the list is provided here without the consensus from the various service provider. So I'm hoping to reach the agreement among the service providers so we can provide the input back to the community soon, by the end of this year. So the first item is containerize of the adapter. I think that should be a pretty easy top of the whole list. That basically we separate the OOT, ONT adapter away from the VOLTHA core, so that will enable the independent development track. So will remove the dependency between the adapter and the core. PON and ONU management. Right now, we say continue from the 1X. It's very vague. So one of the action item AT&T took back, or VOLTHA team took back, is we have to explain what has been delivered in 1.0, and then the rest of work need to be done in VOLTHA 2.0. So the details use story. I think some of the story has been delivered, and there are some need to be done, features has to be implemented, and then additional user story, we will hope to get more input from the service providers and then the community. PON config, that part of the Randy's presentation earlier has the basic PON configuration framework layout. So basically trying to implement the WWT or TR385 framework. There are some missing components. We hope we can prioritize some of them and then get it delivered in the VOLTA 2.0 timeframe. Finalize white box OLT adapter. That's follow up with Kim's Redis's talk earlier today. I think we're going to have a 1.2 release beginning of the December for VOLTA 1.2, and it will include some of the additional features. We think it will be make the device much user friendly to be used. But next item is traffic management, QoS. Right now, basically everything is best effort. The alarm event management, and then also performance monitoring. These two items are actually pretty big. One thing is about, because different vendor had different implementation about how to shoot the event out to the northbound. So there's a behind work called alarm harmonization or PM harmonization. We hope we can take some time to address that part during the VOLTA 2.0 feature release timeframe. And then VOLTA PON scalability. As you heard, VOLTA 1.0 for some of the adapter current today, it's only support one single PON port. So right now we're hoping on the 2.0 for VOLTA at least can manage more than 2 OLTs, and each PON port will have 64 ONTs. I think for the XGS PON, the split ratio actually 1 PON per, 256 the ONTs per PON. But I think it's too aggressive to support that, so we put 64. GDAFast support. I think there are a lot of service providers today already have GDAFast deployed. So GDAFast support, I believe it's one of the hot item too. In order, and then we want to put it in the 2.0 feature set. And then of course the GDAFast, you need to have the DPU adapter, and then a driver. So that will also be involved. AT&T also, we have submitted OCP, the white box DPU design. So as you can see, probably that's something we'd like to see that to be implemented. Again, I would very open for other service providers' input on this one. Netcom support, that's basically follow up with the Randy's presentation earlier, to have a standardized server as part of the VOLTA framework, and then there are additional things like, for example, the transactional database and the protobuf to the broadband YAM model translation. So those are all part of the work. Yes. How do I go back? Oh yeah, using that.
So on scalability, it's greater than 2 PONs per OLT.
2 OLT per. No, 2 OLTs, full size OLTs.
Okay, but the 64 ONTs per OLT is right, 64 ONTs.
No, sorry, per PON. Sorry, that's error. Thank you for the clarification. And VOLTA software component upgrade that include the network element upgrade. The white box or the individual box software upgrade, and then VOLTA stability enhancement. there's some exploratory and fundamental work need to be in place. As you can see, examine all the existing protobuf in order to map the standard YAM model. That's one of the things. I think that part probably require a lot of the community work to go through that because it is massive. YAM model, transactional database, and then the IEEE AO2.1, the .3 PON support. I think that's probably for the Tippett. I think that's what Tippett's using. So in automation. So that's the list. That's a huge list. We need we need the input for prioritization. There's some key learnings we have learned for the last 3 to 4 months. So these are the lists we put together. Documentation definitely will be documentation improvement and the capture of the changes. That's definitely something we need to improve. However, the continued CI/CD with the reference implementation of VOLTHA and hardware setup. Right now, I don't believe this is existing today. So a lot of time, I don't know whether some people, the member here, you build, and then it may be a new code comes in, it may break. So we definitely need a framework, a pod or more than a pod to be able to continue to do this automation and doing the testing. Separation of VOLTHA adapter into separate repos. Right now, the edge core is the edge core adapter implementation is all part of the core right now. So potentially, we believe the separation will reduce the dependency of each other. And then once we containerize the adapter, that's probably makes sense. Establishing common mini milestones for integration tests based on the common high-level integration test plan. Right now, at least the visible milestones is the POC. So AT&T, we had the POC phase 3, and that's actually a very good end-to-end testing test bed for all the people involved within the VOLTHA project. So we think we need to do that more, and not just within the AT&T and probably other service providers' environment. And one thing I'm thinking is we should have more joyful event, Plug Fest. Well, I think that's probably will be a very, very nice. And Plug Fest combined with a workshop or training people how to understand VOLTHA, to play with VOLTHA. I think that will be a good milestones before any releases. Feature planning, end of November 2017 for the Q2 2018 release. That's for the VOLTHA 2.0 release. So a lot of homework the community need to be doing and then exchange idea with other service providers and vendors too. So so this is the proposed timeline like you see yesterday. And so external visibility, I'm hoping so these are the timelines. I think there will be an open networking summit next year in the spring, I hope. And then also potentially VOLTHA Plug Fest and service provider trials. I really, for the service provider here, if your trial is announceable, so let's put it on the record, so to get everybody excited and encouraged to move the product VOLTHA project forward. AT&T will have ATO demo. I think right now today I just found out probably is in the February timeframe. So for 1.3 maybe it's too early. So that's the update I have. Need to be updated. These are the informations. So the links will come with the presentations. Yeah, I'm Sean. I'm the current product owner, and I think the goal is get more people, service provider involved, and get all the potential vendors or if you're not associated to any companies, I think that will be, let's work together to move this project forward. That's all I have so far. There are 15 minutes? Is that okay? Any questions?
I have a question. Is there a similar effort in broadband forums, like some kind of abstraction? I think I heard that there was one maybe for the DPU.
Are you talking about BAA that was proposed by Nokia at BBF? Is that what it
Is
is?
that an active?
I actually know nothing about it. I just heard about it. So
That's why I'm asking.
I was expecting that question. Yeah, they're in Broadband Forum. There's a project called Central Office, Cloud Central Office. And in that Cloud Central Office, there's this document called it'll be TR 384, and it defines an architecture for Cloud Central Office. And in that architecture, there is a thing identified as the Broadband Access Abstraction, BAA. So there is work in Broadband Forum to define what that is. And then that's sort of the normal stuff Broadband Forum does. There's also in the Broadband Forum, there's a sort of a group of projects called Open Broadband. And these are things where they have labs around the world where they have equipment and they hook it up and they do their own little playing around with proof of concepts, and they do some software development kind of stuff. And one of the new projects that they're thinking about is doing a open source development of the BAA. Because there were some operators, it was just, we kind of fronted it, but there's other folks who are interested and they wanted to see that thing exist. So the lawyers have not finished with their stuff. So at this time, no one is allowed to make a contribution toward it. But it has it could, depend on where VOLTHA 2.0 goes, it could be similar, right? So there's no reason that these don't have to be competitive. They could be cooperative. The Broadband Forum, one of the things they do well, actually, is they write specs. They have documents you can read and understand what they want to do. And it's something that you guys don't have, really. And if you could get, cooperate, there might be a way to get something that people can understand and also does what you would like it to do.
Well, the industry was able to get cable labs and IEEE to cooperate with VTOE, so maybe an effort should be made to do this as well. Get the two standards bodies to collaborate and come out with standards that complement each other.
They're changing the rules. That's one reason the lawyers are taking a while too. They're allowing contributions to this project from people who are not members of Broadband Forum, or like ONF could contribute to if they wanted. Right? It's not closed. It's not restricted to Broadband Forum members.
thank you. Any other questions for Sean? No? Okay, well, thank you very much for attending the ARCOT track. Hopefully you're enjoying Cord Build. Thanks a lot and have a good evening.